Now I want to talk about car subscription services. And I don't mean subscribing to use a car for a few months and give it back. Nothing like that. I'm talking about subscribing to the actual features that are in the car, and to use them, you need a subscription. Now, honestly, to me, that sounds insane. But when you when you don't think too hard about it and just think about it, it seems like a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we get in the cars that we buy that we don't use and we don't really need, but it comes as a package based on the trim levels. And if you could subscribe to not having some of the stuff and save money on it, that's great, right? I mean, you don't have to spend that much money, and if you want to use it, you can just spend the money later on and use it when you need it. But the problem with that theory is you have to think about it from the point of the manufacturers, that they're designed to do the R&D and manufacturing cost and put all those costs into making the stuff and put it in the car, and then give the car to us without charging us any money for it, and hope that we, the consumers, enough of us end up using the feature to a point where they don't risk losing money on it. And that's just not a practical option to look at. I mean, think about it. As great as some features are, some people are just not going to use it, especially when it costs money. I mean, money is a thing with a lot of people. They're just not willing to pay for the extra stuff that they don't need. So even 20% of the people who buy the car don't end up using the features, there's a risk that the company might lose money. And I don't think any manufacturer is gonna risk losing money on it like that. So what I think is probably more likely to happen is the manufacturer's gonna make the features, put them in the car, then charge us for the money for the cost of making the features, and then charge us more money to actually use the features. Now, that sounds insane to think about. We're basically paying for everything that we get in the car, and then afterwards we have to pay more money to just use it. I mean, come on. What is that? And sure, from a manufacturer's standpoint, it's a good way to make a lot of money. I mean, you can make more money from the consumers, but as a consumer, aren't we kind of getting ripped off here? I mean, in the past, when you think about it, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for the entire lifetime of the car, or at least as long as you own the car. You know what you're getting, but now you don't actually get what you're getting. And the fact that you have to pay a subscription for it, it's insane. And there was something like this earlier around. With which brand was it? I forgot. One brand was offering heated seats as a subscription service. I mean, that's the basic proof of it. Think about it. The heated seats are already in the car that you bought, but you cannot use them unless you pay a subscription. And what's likely to be the case, that they put the heated seats, which do cost money to make, put them in the car and now charge us for it, and wait till we decide to pay for it? Come on, there's no way that did that. Now I'm talking about this because I'm actually worried that this might become a trend, because on the face of it, when you don't think too hard, it actually seems like a good idea. It seems like you're actually saving money, and that's something that manufacturers can use to make this mainstream. And if this thing becomes mainstream, it's gonna be hard to get him a pushback to go against it, because it's not something that's obvious to everyone. Because people won't actually think too hard on this stuff. If they think hard and everyone thinks through it, yeah, it's a bad idea and it's gonna fail. But the way this can be marketed is you only have to pay for it if you use it. That kind of thing, people don't think too hard on it. and people can get tricked into it. And if this happens, we're just gonna end up paying more money and paying continuously for a service. And that's probably the way they're gonna do it. They're gonna probably give us a monthly package bill for the as long as we're using the car, and it's honestly insane. It's not like cars are really cheap and we're having to pay the bare minimum for these things. Cars are expensive. Yeah, even at each price point, the cars are expensive. They're not really cheap things that the companies are just giving away. They're making the cars to make a profit because these are businesses and they need to make money. That's how they operate. And if this becomes mainstream, it could become a huge problem. And I really hope that it doesn't happen in any situation, even with the horsepower thing. Now, the main stuff that we're hearing about is the horsepower subscription, because the electric motors can put out a lot of power, and the manufacturers can hold the power back and then give us the extra power using a software update. So it's really easy for the manufacturer to do that in this case. But when you think about it, basically the manufacturer is limiting the amount of power you're getting for the engine, that the electric motor that you bought for purposefully. And it's honestly insane. And I hope this doesn't happen. And if they try to make this a trend, which they really will try probably, because it's a good way to make a lot more money off a consumer. And I really hope that everyone takes a stand against this if this happens, and make sure that it goes away. Because, I mean, manufacturers do listen to stuff that consumers say about cars sometimes. I mean, we know that EVs aren't that popular and people still want internal combustion engines, and manufacturers are listening to that and bringing internal combustion engines back, even though it's probably going to be temporary because it's not sustainable. And the thing with the buttons, a lot of the manufacturers that went to capacitive touch are now bringing back physical buttons, and that's something that they did listen to. So if there's enough pushback, we can put a stop to this, and we definitely have to put a stop to this.